Hey guys, it's Ryan here from Explained, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be watching a movie called Digging to Death. This movie is about a man who is obsessed with his newly found money and what lengths he will go in order to keep that money. Well, let's get started. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The movie starts with David, who has just bought a new house after his divorce. His daughter Jessica has come to help him move into his new home and to also provide some emotional support to him. But David doesn't look like someone in need of emotional support, as he seems very excited about his new home. He takes Jessica to give her a tour around the house, and then David finds a secret door inside a closet. Just at the bottom of the secret door, he finds a $100 bill, which he excitedly shows to his daughter. With the money David found, they order Chinese food for dinner. David thanks Jessica for helping him move in and says he's really looking forward to this new chapter in his life. During their conversation about their respective lives, Jessica says that she's concerned about her health insurance, as it won't fully cover the treatment for her heart condition. David tells her not to worry about the money, as he's quite confident on getting a promotion at work. He proudly promises to help Jessica with her medical bills. After dinner, Jessica leaves and asks her dad to call her if he needs anything. Next day, David calls a landscaping agency to take care of his yard. After taking a proper inspection of David's property, the landscaping agent leaves saying that he'll come back in a week with all that he needs for the job. In the afternoon, David gets visited by his friend Mark. Mark asks David on how his move has been and if everything has been settled out. David then replies that he's left to dig a hole for a septic tank. Mark finds it weird that David isn't hiring someone else to set up the septic tank, but David claims that he knows how to do it and doesn't want to spend the money on something which he can do on his own. Later, he starts digging a hole for the septic tank and ends up finding a box buried in the ground. He takes the cover off the box and finds a dead body and a lot of cash. David carefully takes out a stack of cash from the box and covers the box back with sand. He goes inside his house and finds the money to be real. He then starts to talk to himself on what he should do about the money and a dead body buried in his backyard. Sensible thing would be to call the police, but that means he won't get to keep the money. David finds himself in quite a dilemma. At night, he wakes up to the sound of someone walking downstairs. He gets up to check and finds nothing. The next day, he goes to the office and gets high praise from his boss for his recent work. His boss then shows him the office which he would get after the promotion. David's worried about the money that's in his backyard, so he goes to a banking consultant to get some advice. He lies that his uncle has a large amount of cash that he wants to deposit in a bank. But the consultant warns him that depositing a huge amount of cash without any source will alert the IRS and bring more trouble. So if David wants to keep the money to himself, he has to keep it secret. He takes all the money out of the box and starts counting it. In total, he finds out that there is $3 million. He puts all the money back inside his closet and then starts talking to himself. One side of his brain tells him to call the police and report everything. But the greedy side of him warns him that if he calls the police, he won't get to keep any of the money which he found. Plus, the police can also take him as a prime suspect for the murder. Just like the previous night, David hears some strange sounds in his house. He takes a baseball bat and goes downstairs to check. He notices that the main door to his house was unlocked. David locks the door and goes to check on the $3 million he has kept in his closet. When returning back to his room, he sees a figure standing outside the window. He quickly gets outside and starts calling out the person who was outside of his house. To his surprise, he finds that he had forgotten to cover the box which still had a dead body inside. The dead body looks similar to the figure which he saw earlier. He checks the body to see if it's actually dead and finds that it has no heartbeat or pulse. The next day, David goes to meet his friend Mark, who senses that David is bothered by something. He asks what it is, but David lies that he's just stressed out by his divorce and work. David gets to his house and sees muddy footprints on the door. He matches his shoe with the footprints and confirms that it's not his, but of someone else. He's worried that maybe someone came to his house and stole the money. He checks in the closet and sees that the money's still there. David calls Jessica, who's with her boyfriend, and asks her to come see him. Jessica is worried that her father might not be feeling well, so she leaves to visit him. David wants to tell everything to his daughter, but he starts to fear that Jessica might tell others about it, which will result in him having to give up the money. In the end, he decides to not let her in on the secret. David cleans the footprints in his house, and when he enters his room, he again gets scared by a dark figure, which later turns out to be his coat. But when he looks outside of the window, he sees someone in his backyard. He grabs a knife and goes outside to confront the intruder. After not finding anyone outside, he goes inside to keep the money at a safe place. And the safest place he can think of is the box with the dead body. He seals the box with the nails after putting the money inside. David has started to get really paranoid. All he can think about throughout the day is about the money. He no longer focuses on his work, and his boss confronts him about his lack of productivity inside the office. At night, he even gets a nightmare where he sees the dead man trying to attack him. David looks in his closet and decides to open the secret door inside it. While he's trying to get the door open, he gets a call from the landscaping agent who tells him that he'll be arriving on Friday to take care of his yard. David realizes that if he doesn't take care of the dead body and the money before Friday, the landscaping agent will find out everything and will report it to the police. He immediately opens the box and finds some keys and a wallet from the dead body. He takes out a stack of cash from the box and goes shopping. He buys some tools and installs security cameras that cover every corner of his house. He then uses the key that he found from the coat of the dead body to open the secret door in the closet. After a few tries, he gets the door unlocked. The door leads him down to a basement. He slowly starts to look around the place and finds dead bodies wrapped in plastic. David gets shocked to see this and wonders what he should do next. He contemplates calling the police, but in the end, he decides not to. At night, his newly installed security alarm wakes him up, indicating there's an intruder walking outside his house. David looks through the security camera footage and finds the dead man standing outside his door. He now believes that the person who he found in the box is actually alive and is trying to take the money away from him. The mysterious man moves away from his door, and David pursues him with a bat in his hand. He goes outside and cuts his feet on a broken piece of mug. He slowly moves towards the box as he expects the mysterious man to be hiding inside of it. He grabs the dead body and shouts that he's found out about him. He tells him to stop playing dead, but gets no response back. David has now truly gone insane, and he's no longer sure of what is true and what is false. The next day, he finds himself sleeping next to the dead body. He quickly gets out of the box and sees that the money is still there. David checks the time and sees that he's late for work. In a hurry, he gets ready and gets in his car. And just when he's driving away, he sees the dead man staring right at him. David gets out of his car, and the dead man starts to move to go back inside the box. David tells him that he already saw him, so he should quit pretending to be dead. But the dead man pays no attention to him and goes back inside the box. David grabs him and tells him to quit playing around, but the dead body, as usual, doesn't respond back. In a bid to make him confess that he's actually alive, David grabs a chainsaw and uses it to cut his leg. Despite being mutilated, the man doesn't cry out or anything. He's as dead as he could be. David reaches work with blood on his shirt. His boss is clearly not happy with this and starts to question him for his unprofessional behavior. In return, David screams back at his boss and ends up getting fired from his job. David drives back home saying he doesn't need the job as he has $3 million sitting in his house. Upon reaching the house, he sees that the landscaping agent has already arrived and seen the dead body in the box. He tells David to stay away from him and he's going to call the police. But before he could dial 911, David grabs a hammer and hits the landscaping agent on his head. Out of fear of losing all the money, David commits a murder. He wraps the dead body of the landscaping agent in plastic and puts it in his basement beside all of the other dead bodies. He does the same to the other dead body, which has been in the box since he moved into his house. He starts to clean the blood from his face, and his inner self tells him that he did the right thing by killing the landscaping agent, or he'd have stolen his money away from him. David had promised to meet Mark, but since he didn't show up, Mark gets concerned and decides to go check on him. David goes to sleep, and once again the security alarm goes off and he sees someone standing inside his house. He goes downstairs with his baseball bat, and without realizing that it's actually his friend, David attacks Mark. David has gone really insane and paranoid because of the money. He believes that Mark is there to steal his money, so he ends up killing his own friend. He puts Mark's dead body in the basement with all the other dead bodies. He's afraid that more people will come to take his money, so he takes out the money from the box and keeps it with him inside the house. David's insanity has gone to a whole new level as he begins to talk to the money, almost as if it's his friend. He even goes to sleep by keeping the money close to him. Next day, Jessica's boyfriend comes to meet him, but David believes him to be another thief who has come to his house for his money. He hits him with the baseball bat and heavily injures him. Jessica's boyfriend is still alive, but David wraps him in plastic and takes him inside the basement. A few hours later, Jessica arrives at his house and asks if everything's okay. She asks if her boyfriend came to meet him, and David replies that he's in the basement and takes Jessica with him to show where her boyfriend is. After getting inside the basement, Jessica sees all the dead bodies and her boyfriend who's still moving while wrapped up in plastic. Before Jessica could even ask what it's all about, David hits her from behind and knocks her out. Jessica later wakes up to find herself tied up. David feels that his own daughter is after his money. Jessica's confused about what her father is talking about, and she begs him to let her go. She cries out, begging for her father not to do any further than this. But David is beyond a place where he can return. The $3 million have gotten over his head, and he tells Jessica that he knows how to fix all the problems. He leaves Jessica in the basement without untying her. He gets ready in a suit and takes all the money outside into his backyard. He throws the money in the box and pours gasoline all over it. He plans to burn all the money, which has been the root of everything bad that has happened recently. But he simply can't bring himself to burn all that money. The greed has taken over him so much that he decides to do something extreme. He gets inside the box and closes himself in with the money he so badly loves. This proves that the money is actually cursed. The dead body which he found when he first moved in is of none other than the previous owner of the house. Just like David, he too had found the money. Slowly, the money took over his mind and ended up killing his own family members and keeping their dead bodies in the basement, just because he was afraid they'll take his money. In the end, he died with the money, just like how David is doing now. With David resting inside the box, there's an uncertainty of what will happen to Jessica and her boyfriend. Will they die there while waiting for help? And will the curse of that money move on to the new house owner? Thanks so much for watching. Tell us your thoughts about the movie down below in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and do watch some of our other videos as well. And before you leave, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more movie recaps.